Cognism sells itself on one word: compliant, GDPR-Safe data, built for teams scared of European privacy law and priced like a compliance product rather than a plain database. We pulled the actual compliance documentation, the actual verification methodology, and the actual contract numbers from neutral procurement data to find out whether that pitch is a real, meaningfully different guarantee or a premium built on top of a claim every serious verified data vendor already has to make anyway. Start with what's real, because a lot of it is. Cognism is ISO 27001 and ISO 27701 certified and SOC 2 Type 2 compliant per its own compliance page. Independent audits a vendor pays a third party to run every year, not a marketing adjective. Diamond Data, its phone verified line, backs over 10 million mobile contacts with an actual calling process. A person dials the number and confirms the right prospect picks up. Cognism's own published testing reports roughly a 3x higher connect rate against unverified mobile data and refreshes 95% of director-level contacts every 30 days. Coverage is strongest in the UK, Dash, and Western Europe, the same regions its compliance program is built around. If your team is cold calling into Europe at volume, that's a genuinely different product than a scraped email list. Now the part the pitch tends to gloss over. Cognism processes its database under GDPR's legitimate interest basis, documented, defensible, and scrub against 15 do not call and TPS lists before a record ever ships per its own compliance page. That's real infrastructure, and it took real legal work to build. But legitimate interest is Cognism's lawful basis for holding the data. It is not automatically yours for what you do with it next. Cognism's own compliance materials are direct about the boundary. Once a contact leaves the platform, the buyer becomes the controller for their own outreach, and that obligation runs independently of anything Cognism certified. The same pattern holds on the CTPA side. Cognism registers as a data broker with the California Attorney General and runs a dedicated consumer rights process, but a California opt-out request doesn't file itself, someone on the buyer's side still has to route it. The GDPR-Safe pitch covers their pipeline. It was never going to cover your campaign. Cognism's own compliance page makes one commitment worth reading twice. It promises to notify clients of a security incident, quote, immediately and in no event later than 72 hours, matching the regulatory deadline exactly, not padding it. That's a real, auditable commitment, the kind a smaller vendor often can't back with a certification. But notice precisely what it covers: incident response inside Cognism's own systems. It says nothing about what happens after a verified list leaves their platform and lands inside your CRM and your sending tool. 4 things worth knowing before the quote call, straight from Cognism's own pricing page and neutral procurement data. First, pricing is entirely custom, no self-serve tier, no public rate card, every deal negotiated one at a time. Second, the offer is credit-based. One credit reveals or enriches a single contact, and Diamond Data's phone credits cost meaningfully more than standard email credits. Third, onboarding and implementation are commonly billed as their own line item, separate from the platform fee. And fourth, renewal pricing typically steps up year over year unless a multi-year rate gets locked in at signing. None of it is hidden exactly, it's just not written down anywhere a buyer can check before the sales call starts. So what does the GDPR-Safe pitch actually cost a year? Vendors' procurement data, drawn from more than 100 real Cognism contracts, puts the average annual deal at $36,000, with real signed contracts ranging from roughly $18,500 to over $95,000 a year. That's a subscription with a renewal date attached. When we price the same underlying need the other way, 5,000 verified contacts through Quarvio, it ran $129 one time, with credits valid for 12 months, no seat count, and no annual floor. This isn't Cognism losing a close price comparison on a shared unit, it's a completely different category of purchase, sold to a completely different kind of buyer. Our verdict: the compliance engineering is genuinely real, and for an EU-heavy team running phone-based outreach with legal counsel already in the room, Cognism's documentation and Diamond Data verification earn their keep. That part of the pitch is not marketing. But for a team that mainly needs verified email contacts without signing an annual, enterprise-size contract, the GDPR pitch is doing double duty: real protection and a justification for enterprise pricing. In the stack we run, Quarvio supplies verified contacts without the contract. Instantly handles sending and warm-up. Informail keeps the inboxes clean underneath. Infox runs LinkedIn in parallel off the email domain. Compliance is worth paying for. Just know exactly what you're paying it for.